It's important that everybody in the company understands that what we're doing is bigger than us. It's actually selfish for you to keep somebody around when they're not doing a good job. But the biggest struggle that I've had is having to break free of the mindset of, if I want it done right, I have to do it myself. But I try to look at myself not like a boss, but more like a coach. Like, you're not gonna go out there and teach Michael Jordan how to play basketball better. What you need to do is you need to trust that you have the right people, and you need to be able to help them use their talents that they already have strategically in a way that's gonna help the whole team win.
It has to work or it has to work.
Welcome to Circle of Greatness. I'm your host, Nehemiah Davis, and today we got a special episode, man. I get the opportunity to bring somebody that I'm almost confident to say they're going to sell their company for several hundreds of millions of dollars, right? This is one of the most brilliant marketers I know, one of the most amazing entrepreneurs I know, and we had the opportunity to meet at a mastermind, and we've been locked in ever since. My brother, Andy Stickel. What's up, bro?
What's up, man? Thanks for having me. And yeah, I hope you're right. Hundreds of millions of dollars sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah, I believe it, though.
Yeah, we're on track. You know what's funny is that I believe it, but it's also hard to believe that that it's like, from where you come from, it's kind of like, how did I find myself in this situation?
Remember y'all turned down a $40 million offer?
Yeah.
You remember? That was about 2 years ago.
That was 2 years ago.
So I know the value has increased since.
Yeah, we've multiplied many times since then.
Yeah.
But it's just all trying to keep it together,
Yeah. So I want to talk about it, man. I want to talk about keeping it together. I want to talk about building a team. I want to talk about marketing. You've been doing it for a long time. And one of the things that I told you just really stuck to me the other day, that you shared on your presentation, I want you to talk to. He was like, don't sell to broke people.
Yeah.
Talk about that, bro. Like, when you said that, I was like.
Okay, so basically I did an event a couple months ago, and we had, I think, 350 people on the event, maybe 400, and we did about $4 million in sales, right? And I was in your mastermind, and I was presenting to your mastermind, and I was asking, why do you think that was? And it wasn't because I'm a great marketer. It wasn't because I'm a great salesperson. It was because I had a room full of lawyers there, right? I had a room full of people that could actually buy an offer, and our offer was $80,000, and we had a couple different levels. It was anywhere from $80,000 to $200,000 for a year contract with us. And if I had a room full of like school teachers, for example, like that's more than they make in 2 years. There's no way I could have sold that type of product to that audience, right? 100%. So I kind of look at it like real estate. Like real estate, they say the profits made when you buy, not when you sell, right? So it's the same type of thing with your audience and with your business and with the niche that you serve. I look at it as, I want to make sure that I'm selling to people that can actually sustain a large price per unit, essentially, right? Yeah. And the only way to do that is to find people that can get a very, very large ROI on whatever it is that I'm selling, because our philosophy is we try to do a 10 to 1. So basically we try to give 10 times more value than we ever hope to capture. So, and I work with attorneys. So I've had clients that have gotten $25 million settlements from our work. And when you if you're a lawyer, you get anywhere from 30 to 40% of whatever comes in. So $25 million times 30% is.
How often do those come?
If you're a personal injury attorney, it depends. Sometimes
that's like a home run.
Sometimes those are once in a lifetime. Sometimes those are a couple times a year. It just depends on how much they put themselves out there. Like a guy like John Morgan, where they just get thousands and thousands and thousands of leads every single day. They probably get a couple of those a week, maybe. Smaller firms might not ever get that, but it's just basically like they have the potential to do that. And if I do my job, then they're going to have more visibility and more opportunities to get those types of settlements. So that's really the basis of what I try to do, though. Even if you're not selling to lawyers, you have to figure out who has a high ticket value or who has a high ROI potential that can justify your prices. Like if I'm selling to restaurants, do you know how many meals they would have to sell to make back $80,000 just to make back our fees? That's not including the ad spend. That's not including the time and effort they have to put into it. So it makes it really, really difficult when you don't have people that can afford your prices. And that was something I heard Russell Brunson say a long time ago. Is rule number one is don't sell to broke people. So I kind of live by that. Yeah.
It's simple, but it's powerful.
Yeah. A lot of people forget that too.
Yeah. So we talked about don't sell to broke people. You and I met in a mastermind, bro, in
21.
Yeah, and I remember, bro, like we talking every week and we're literally just banging heads trying to figure it out. I even remember when you and Bill, y'all used to mastermind every week.
Yeah.
For maybe a year or two, right? How important I don't up one of my top things I think of importance for me is proximity.
Yeah.
How important is that right now?
So here's the funny part, right? So like I was in, you and I were in a mastermind. Do we want to say who the mastermind was?
It don't matter.
Right, so look, this guy changed my life, Myron Golden, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people know who Myron Golden is. And in that room were some pretty successful people, which is really cool. But proximity is very, very important because I learn more from other people than I'll ever learn on my own. I mean, one of the fastest ways to learn is just to hear about other people's mistakes. They say smart people learn from their own mistakes, wise people learn from the mistakes of others, right? So what I try to do is I try to surround myself with as many successful people as possible. And actually one of the most unlikely people that I surrounded myself was my partner, Bill, my current partner, Bill. And the reason why was because at the time he was a competitor, right? So we both had marketing agencies. We both did marketing for lawyers. We were both creating content. We were both doing live events. We were basically directly competing with each other. And what's funny is that we would meet up every single week and he would share like, hey, here's what was working for me. And then I'd say, here's what's working for me. And we would implement and both of us would make more money, even though we're direct competitors, So that actually taught me a really good lesson about abundance mindset, because even if it's somebody that you're directly competing with, if you help them and they help you, then you're both going to be more successful, right? But being around the right people is very important for a couple of reasons. One, you get to just learn things from a different perspective, especially people in different industries, because a lot of times we look at things from our own industries. But what I like doing is I looking at what other people are doing in their industries, and I say, okay, that's cool. How can I apply that to what I'm doing and implement that, right? And then the other thing is just seeing what's possible. That's the other crazy part. So we were in Myron's mastermind, and I think I started in February of 2021. And there's a guy, Josh Crisp, who you've probably had on this podcast. And Myron's mastermind is all about how do you sell from stage, right? Like there's nobody better than Myron at selling from stage. He could, if you've ever seen Tommy Boy, he could sell a ketchup popsicle to a lady in white gloves, right? Crazy. So I was really almost intimidated to get on stage and try to sell this stuff, because we did a $4 million event a couple months ago, but I had never done more than $250,000 from stage. And Josh Crisp did a challenge, and Myron's whole thing is he teaches you how to make $1 million in a day, right? So Josh Crisp, after 2 months, I think it was April, did an event, and I'm pretty sure he made $1 million. Yeah. He broke $1 million, right? And crazy. Just seeing that it could be done from your peers, you know what I mean? And I'm looking at Josh, and Josh is a great marketer, but I know I'm a great marketer also. And I was like, if Josh can do it, I know I can do it, Yeah. So even just for seeing other people succeed and using that as the motivation, as if they can do it, I can do it. It's like the 4-minute mile. I mean, once Josh did it, he did it in April. I did it in May, and then I think you did it twice, within a couple of weeks also, And it's basically just being around other people and success. Rising tide raises all boats,
Bro, so one of the things that I know about you, I know about me is I'm a visionary, you're a visionary, and we're still making it. I'm learning to be an operator. I don't really want to be an operator, but I'm learning that. But y'all built a team now, bro, of well over a couple hundred W-2 employees, bro. What does it take, not being the operator, not really being a visionary?
Yeah.
How are you been able to develop this team? How are y'all holding this team together? What are you doing? And I want to know somewhat of what does your day-to-day look like running a company of your size?
Yeah. It's a struggle at times because so our company is, like you said, it's just, a lot of employees, and it's weird because when we do a daily huddle every morning at 8:58, our entire company gets on, and it's strange because there's people on there that I don't even know who they are. The
entire company.
The entire company, yeah. And it's weird because it's gone from when I started my company, I started in 2012. It was literally me at my kitchen table. I coded our first website. I wrote the first content. I did every single thing, to go from that to 12 years later to where we're getting on Zoom calls and there's employees that I don't know who they are. There's employees that will be hired and then leave the company and I will never talk to them before, right?
Wow.
And it's not because I'm like not a man of the people, I guess you would say. It's because we all work remote and they might be in like our SEO department, for example. And I just don't ever talk to the SEO department. I talk to the heads of the SEO department, but just because I don't, it's like when you've got that many people, it's hard. You can't talk to everybody. There's not time, But the biggest struggle that I've had is having to break free of the mindset of if I want it done right, I have to do it myself.
That's right.
Because what I've found is that if you hire the right people, and we have this philosophy that we only hire A players, and we kind of got this from Reed Hastings, who's the CEO of Netflix. And there's a story in his book, No Rules Rules, about Netflix had to let go like 75% of their staff, right? This is back in, like the early 2000s when they were getting killed. And they were about to go out of business, and the only way they could save the business was by letting go 75% of their staff. So they were trying to figure out, who do we let go? Who do we keep and who do we let go? So they basically, it came down to one question. They asked themselves a single question, and that question was, if this person came to me and said, hey, listen, I got a competing job offer from another company that they're going to pay me more money and I'm going to go over there. Would we A, let them leave, or would we B, fight to keep them, keep hitting this microphone, or would we B, fight to keep them at Netflix, right? So that was their question. So if the answer was A, we would let them leave, then they're not an A player, right?
Wow.
And if the answer was B, no, I cannot, we have to keep them, like you cannot leave, you need, those are the people that they kept. So what ended up happening was they let go of about 75% of the staff. And the crazy thing is that productivity actually went up. Wow. They actually got better results with 75% fewer people, or I guess it'd be only 25% of the people. And that's because A players thrive in an environment with other A players. And they don't want to be carrying other people along. It's like, think about when you watch like a football game and you see like Patrick Mahomes or like Tom Brady. When they're losing, when they're getting beaten, they're out there like yelling at everybody, they're like, let's go, let's get it together, because they're pulling everybody up to their level because they're not satisfied with what everyone else is doing, and that change in terms of we only hire A players has made it so that I can actually trust my team more to make decisions without me.
That's
right?
Good.
We launch marketing campaigns. We launch all kinds of stuff where it used to be everything depended on me. Now we have stuff that's going out right now, and I'll look at it and I'm like, holy crap, this is really good. Whose idea was this? So that's also had to shift my mindset. And the biggest shift that I've made, and I'm not perfect at this by any means, and people that work for me will tell you this, but I try to look at myself not like a boss, but more like a coach, right? Because think about the greatest coaches. Think about like Bill Belichick and like Nick Saban and Phil Jackson and all these guys, right? They're not actually, like, you're not going to go out there and teach Michael Jordan how to play basketball better, right? You're not going to teach Kobe Bryant or Tom Brady or any of these guys how to actually be better, right? What you need to do is you need to trust that you have the right people, and you need to be able to help them use their talents that they already have strategically in a way that's going to help the whole team win, right? Yeah. And that's what I've had to try to do. And it's a different mindset because, going from being a boss where everything I say is the way it goes and all that type of stuff to actually like trying to coach, it's a different mindset. And again, I'm not perfect at it. It's something I'm definitely struggling with sometimes and I'm working on, but that's been the biggest challenge and the biggest change. And also the biggest impact is when you make that mindset that you're a coach, not a boss. And you get the best out of your team when you do that.
Bro, that's good. So I got some questions I need to start asking.
Yeah.
My staff, because some people aren't A players, and I kind of keep them just because I'm like, well, I ain't got nobody else.
Yeah, you know what's funny about that? So I heard Bill, so we do these live events, right? And somebody was asking a question, and it's funny because I listen to the events also, and I learn a lot from Bill and from people. And one of the things that he said, because I always had that, I hated confrontation, right? I'll keep somebody for a year because I don't want to have that tough conversation of letting them go, right? But I heard something and he was like, it's actually selfish for you to keep somebody around when they're not doing a good job.
Wow.
And here I'm thinking I'm thinking like, oh, I'm doing them a favor. It's actually selfish of me though, because one, the only reason they're still here is because I don't want to have the tough conversation, right?
Yeah.
But when you think about it, first of all, you're hindering them because they're in a situation where the writing's probably on the wall for a lot of these people. And really, maybe it's the right person, but they're in the wrong role. Or maybe it's just the right person in the wrong company. So you're actually holding them back by having them in a company, in a situation that is not going to be good for them long term. It'd be better to let them go so they can go find another place that they can flourish and maybe actually, find the thing that they're really good at. But then also, you're also putting your entire company in jeopardy. When you've got, a bunch of people over here that are depending on you. I mean, we have hundreds of people that depend on us, right? And if you have this one person that isn't living up to the standard, then what they do could impact everyone. And they, depending on what their role is, it could actually have serious, serious trickle down effects where, if revenue's dropping, if you're losing clients because of them, whatever it is, then other people could be in jeopardy because of this one person, other people's livelihoods, other people's family, other people, the food that they put on the table could be in jeopardy because I don't want to have this one conversation with this one person that's going to be difficult for me, for 5 minutes. And then let's be honest, afterwards, you're going to feel much, much better,
Yeah.
So I've kind of reframed it. And now I don't put those conversations off, even though I hate them. It's not like I ever enjoy it. It never gets easier. Yeah. But I've realized that it's necessary, and it's kind of like you just got to rip the Band-Aid off and do it.
Yeah, and get it done. Let me ask you, what's happening at 8:58 a.m. daily huddles? Walk me through the agenda, because I may start this.
Yeah, okay.
We only do Mondays with and that's still not everyone. I want to do talk.
Yeah, they're really cool. So basically, and this is another Bill thing. Again, this is like some of the stuff that Bill does, like the goal setting and like, the scheduling and all that type of stuff. That's not me. I'm more of a kind of just go with the flow type of guy, right? So 8:58, basically every morning at 8:58, we have a company-wide meeting, and the meeting lasts for 7 long. Video's on. Yeah, you got to have your video on. So calendar invite goes out to start at like 8:55. So we have one person, one of the more energetic people from our team leads it. We got music blasting, all that type of stuff. And we start off with, so it's 5 days a week. So different days have different updates. Every day is a marketing and sales update. So they'll say, 8:58, what's up, all my beautiful people? I don't have the energy they do. But then they go, let's go to marketing updates. Then the marketing team, my marketing manager gives an update. Yesterday we had, 200 leads come in. We sold 52 books, and we booked, 27 appointments for the sales team. And then we go to the sales team. All right, yesterday we did 6 new deals and $300,000 in revenue, in new annual recurring revenue, right? And we basically give any updates. And different days have different updates, right? But there's always marketing, there's always sales, because those are the two, that's the lifeblood of the company, right? Yeah. And then, one day the SEO team will give an update, and then one day the social media team will give an update. So it's scheduled out like that. And then we do client headlines. So in our Slack channel, we have, whenever we get testimonials, results, anything like that for clients, we put it in the headlines channel so that the entire company can see it. Yeah. But then we actually have somebody that reads those testimonials and shares those testimonials on the Daily Huddle, because it's important to understand, it's important that everybody in the company understands that what we're doing is bigger than us, right? It's not just about how much money we made yesterday.
That's the vision, Cameron Harrell.
Exactly, yes, from Vivid Vision, right? And it's important to understand that, we had $350,000 in annual recurring revenue come in yesterday, but here's the actual result of that, right? Here's the law. This law firm messaged us that they had their first $100,000 month they've ever had. This law firm messaged us they got 52 new Google reviews in the last 30 days. So like, it's cool because it's not just about us, right? And then, so we do the client headlines every day, and I mean, it's very rare that we don't have client headlines. And then we go to core value gratitudes. So about 4 or 5 people can shout out somebody in the team that, for recognizing how they're living.
Let me on a call one day.
What'd you say?
Let me get on a call one day.
Okay, yeah. I'll give you a link tomorrow, yeah. Basically, we have core values, right? And every day we basically, you can say like, I want to give a shout out to Chase, 3-way winners, because yesterday we had an issue with our sales page where some of the tickets weren't going through. So what he did is he immediately jumped in. He refunded the tickets that got double charged. He gave everybody that was, not charged the ticket. He gave them an actual VIP upsell to fix the problem. and he did a great job, and then so basically everyone calls out, core value gratitudes and everything, and then we wrap up the huddle, So and then on Wednesdays we do Vision Wednesday, which is basically where either myself or Bill or one of the other executives, we've got 5 or 6 executives at the company, will give kind of like a visionary, talk,
So how long did the huddle last about? You said 7?
7 minutes.
All of that is done in 7 minutes?
Yeah, because we don't want it to take a half an hour.
And then y'all off the call and everybody go do what
then everybody
they do.
goes and does their day, yeah.
That's good. 7 minutes is pretty, I like that.
Yeah.
How you do, well, y'all don't have no contractors. It's all.
No, we have a lot of contractors.
Are they on there too?
No, this is just the actual
Internal
core
team.
employees. Yeah. We're a couple. I mean, if you include all of our contractors, we're a couple hundred people on the team.
Crazy.
But this is just the core. This is just
How
the
important
core
you think this make a difference?
It makes a huge difference in terms of, because we're not all in the same office. We're not all in the same place. We have an office in Philadelphia, but I mean, maybe 10% of the staff ever even goes there. Like we've had this
y'all
office.
got a big office too, bro.
Yeah.
That seems like a waste of money then.
You know how many times I've been there?
Probably
Twice.
Yeah, it's crazy. In a couple of years.
You've been there probably more than I've been there,
Probably,
right?
yeah. I've been there twice too.
Okay, So
you should feel bad. You and I have been to your office twice.
well, no, I don't feel bad though, because
I'm
it's
just
actually we operate with a ton of efficiency. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm in. I was in Florida. Now I'm in Georgia.
How often Bill's going to the office?
Bill's in the office every day.
Okay.
Bill's in the office every day. Brandon, our COO, is in
Emily.
the office every day. Emily works from home. Emily's actually, so she's directly under me in terms of marketing. And because I'm Bill's CEO, I'm CMO, Chief Marketing Officer. But we kind of we really both have that.
What's Emily's title?
She's Senior Marketing Manager.
Okay.
So basically she oversees and she's like almost my integrator, right? So basically, like we were saying before, I'm a great visionary, right? I am terrible at implementation. I'll come up with a million ideas, but then to actually get them done, like it's a miracle the company made it where it did, because of the fact that I said I was the one that launched, like when we first started this company, I was coding the websites, I was writing the content. These are things that are like such a struggle to me that I can't believe that I actually did it with any sort of efficiency, and that, and actually one of those clients is still a client 12 years later,
Wow.
So Emily is very, very detail oriented. She's very organized. So she's kind of the counter to me. So I say, hey, listen, we're gonna build this, and this is what the offer is going to be, and this is kind of like where we're going to do it. And then she asked me 700 other questions, because I basically gave kind of like a half-baked idea, which I'm sure you do this as well.
All the time.
And she actually figures out, like, okay, let me interpret and translate what Andy just said and actually put a plan together that's actually going to do it. So like there, our whole team operates off of Monday.com, and like we've got a million spreadsheets, and all that stuff just makes me want to throw up, because like I hate Monday.com and I hate all that stuff. But
it's crazy how
it's
crazy how every time you say Monday.com, they're getting advertisement. Either way, it's like what do you use for management? Monday.com.
Yeah,
it's like
we use Monday. We use HubSpot.
Yeah, we use HubSpot. Was starting to cost me a grip too, bro.
Yeah,
I got that from Grant.
You know what? Like HubSpot, we need to switch to Salesforce.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we've got 600 clients, and it's just it's a challenge using that software. But the problem is the challenge of moving from one software to the other is such a big lift that we've been kind of like putting it off. But we do have to do it. It's like everything else. Got to rip the Band-Aid off, and it's expensive. And the worst part, it's not even the expense. I mean, it's going to cost a couple $100,000 just to get it set up, but it's more about the time and the productivity that we're afraid we're going to lose.
Training your team.
Yeah, exactly.
On a whole nother thing.
Yeah, when you actually look at the time involved, it's going to cost way more than the actual money that's involved. But I think long term, it's almost like take a step back to take 2 steps forward.
Yeah. What are you doing right now, marketing, to keep you ahead? Like any core thing? Marketing changes all the time, right?
Yeah.
What are some things you're doing now to just get better, get in front of more of your ideal customers, your clients, all of that?
So there's a couple things. One is we're actually dialing back who we're talking to, because there's a concept of when you talk to everybody, you're talking to nobody, right? Now, we've niched down and we're talking to lawyers. So we're not talking to everybody anymore, right? But the issue is that now we need to start dialing in not just that we're talking to lawyers, but which lawyers are we actually talking to, right? So we did an analysis on our company, and we looked at like what are the practice areas, meaning personal injury, criminal defense, family law, immigration, real estate, intellectual property, like what are the ones that we're the most successful with and that we retain clients the longest with, and what are the ones that are the biggest challenges for us, right? And then we also looked at what are the revenue sizes of different law firms that we're the most successful with, and the ones that are the most challenging, right? So we've actually kind of, exactly, yeah. So we're starting to dial it in. We're starting to look at, okay, so one problem that we found is that we can be very, very motivational during our talks, very inspirational. And a big way that we sign up clients is through these live events. And these events, we get people fired up and they're ready to change their lives and they're ready to, make $1 million next year. But the problem is that often leads to people biting off more than they can chew. So if your law firm made $100,000 last year and you sign an $80,000 contract, that's not a good situation to be in.
100%.
Regardless of how motivated you are. Now, we've had clients that have done that. We have one client who he did $125,000 the entire prior year, and now he's doing $1 million a month.
Wow.
Right? But that's the exception, not the rule.
Yeah.
Because
what did they do different?
They implemented.
Yeah.
That's the difference. They implement, but like, look, human nature. And look, here's the other thing, right? And this is going to be very blunt. Some people are not cut out to be entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
They just aren't.
True.
There's some people that can't stomach the risk. They can't stomach the effort that has to happen, because like everybody thinks like, oh, I want to be an entrepreneur, so I'm gonna have more free time, right? And like, no, that's the exact opposite.
100%.
It's the opposite. I'm up at 5 o'clock every morning. I work till 6 o'clock at night. I love what I do, but it doesn't change the fact that I still have to work hard. So
I like that you got balance. Like you said, I work till 6 o'clock. Somebody were like, Andy, that's not long, but you're working efficient. Time from the time you're up.
Five until 6, so that's 13-hour days.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's efficient. Every minute is count.
Yeah.
I remember I don't know if he's still doing it on Instagram, but I will watch his Vivid Vision in the morning. He's up 4 o'clock the same.
Every morning, still does it.
Yeah.
Yeah, even to this day. It's a funny story about Bill.
Journal, everything.
Bill, so Bill came to one of Myers' masterminds, and somehow his hotel room got canceled. So we were coming back, and basically he was coming back, and we were going to work at my house for a couple of days. So his hotel room somehow didn't get booked, so he had to sleep on my couch that night, right?
Yeah.
So we got back late from Myers' mastermind, because we always go out to like Eddie V's or something afterwards. So we get back from the mastermind. My wife's already asleep because it's like midnight by the time we get home. And I was like, yeah, just crash on my couch, it's fine. So at our house, our old house, we had a pool in our backyard, and we had doors in our bedroom that led out to the pool, right? And at 5 o'clock in the morning, my wife wakes me up, and she's like, "There's somebody in the backyard. There's somebody yelling in the backyard. What's going on?" And I was like, "What the hell?" And like, I'm half asleep. It's Bill standing out by the pool yelling his affirmations, like at the freaking moon or something. I don't know who he's talking to. And I'm like, "Oh no, that's just Bill screaming his affirmations at the pool."
Crazy.
So,
I'm successful. I'm building
I must succeed.
Yes, bro. He's intense, bro.
No, but I mean, look, credit to him. We wouldn't be where we are right now without him, because of the fact that he has the focus and the dedication and the drive and always the eye on the prize, right? So like for 3 years now, we've been partners, and it has not wavered. We will do $256 million in revenue in 2026. That has not changed for 4 years. You know what I mean? As entrepreneurs, I don't know if this happens to you, this happens to me. I get shiny object syndrome every 5 minutes.
Me too.
And I'm like, oh, maybe I should do this thing. Oh, maybe I should do this thing. You know what I mean? I have never once seen him have shiny object syndrome for anything. It's just focus on this is what we're going to do. This is the goal. This is how we're going to get there. I think there's a lot to be said about that, because I'm the opposite of that, And it's also why we work really well together, because he's very analytical, and he can be the visionary also in terms of like, grand ideas and things like that for marketing. But usually that's really where I thrive. And then I can give it to him, and then he can figure out with the spreadsheets and the budgets and, figuring out, okay, if we want to hit this many goals, if we want to hit this many leads, if we want to hit this revenue, we have to make this many sales, which means that we need to have this many leads, which means we need to close at this percentage, which means we need to spend this much on ad spend. It's like all this stuff that I'm like, just tell me what we need to do and I'll do it. You figure it out and I'll go figure out how to make it happen.
Let me ask you this. Share with me 2 of your biggest mistakes, business mistakes that you made. One of mine is not sticking with continuity.
Yeah.
And that it burns me up sometimes. Now we're back on it, but I'm like, I wish I never freaking. And I know you're building a massive continuity bit. Like you'll turn down a full pay over continuity.
Yeah.
But what are some mistakes that in this journey that you like, dang, that was one? Because I want to help somebody possibly avoid it.
I'm trying to think.
And why are you thinking, or even biggest struggle that you're going through now in business? Because as we grow, we hit new struggles.
I think that one of my biggest mistakes, I'm trying to think, because I really reframe how I look at mistakes. I don't look at for example, I don't think that I've ever failed at anything. Yeah. Right. I've gotten, exactly. I got a different outcome than I expected. Yeah.
I like that.
So
did you fail? No, I just got a different outcome.
Yeah, but here, okay. So let me give you a perfect example. When I was just out of college, this is 2006. I graduated college. So 2007, I worked at a law firm. Completely coincidental. I was going to go to law school, but I was smart in the sense that I decided to work at a law firm before going to law school just to make sure that I wanted to do it. Mm-hmm. And what I realized is that I freaking hated it. I did not want to be a lawyer, but I'm also a terrible employee and I got fired from that job, right? So I started, after that, I was like, all right, I got to do something. And I used to play in a rock band and I got us a record deal and we had all kinds of really cool stuff. It never went anywhere, but I really enjoyed the business side of the music industry more than the playing music side of the music industry, right? So I was like, I kind of know how this works. I'm going to start a concert promotion business. So the concert promotion business didn't go anywhere. Actually, that's not true. We did about 60 concerts. We did everything from small clubs to big arenas and everything. Yeah. And then once Live Nation and Ticketmaster merged, I got out of it because I was like, they're just going to put all these little guys out of business. So I was sitting around one day and I was like, I know how the music industry works. And I heard this quote one time from Mark Hoppus, who's the bass player from Blink-182. He's like, being on tour is all about finding something better to do, right? Because it's not like Motley Crue where it's just hookers and blow all day, right? It's like you're just sitting around bored all day. So I was like, okay, I know how to get in touch with these guys. I was in Orlando, so every popular artist came through Orlando at some point. So I was like, what can I? And I know how to. It's like, what can I do with this information, right? So I sat on it and I was like, you know what? I should create a TV show where basically I'm taking like athletes and musicians and actors and basically celebrities and doing fish out of water style interviews with them, right? This was before Instagram stories. This was before Twitter. This was before we were so ahead of our time. So basically what I did is I ended up doing all kinds of crazy stuff. I was just calling and just BSing my way through. So do you know who the band 3 Doors Down is?
No.
Do you know them? Okay. Have you ever heard that song? It's called Superman. It's like, if I go crazy, then will you still call me
I thought you was about to say
Superman?
this is my song. If you're more what you bargain for.
Oh, which one's that?
Is that Blink?
Wait.
I love that song. That's probably the only type band I think. If you more.
I'm trying to think who it is. Okay. Well, regardless, and ignore my terrible singing. 3 Doors Down was A level, right? Yeah. They were huge back then, right?
Yeah.
So they were coming to Orlando, right? And I also happened to see that the MetLife Blimp was in Orlando, right? So I call MetLife, this is total BS. I call them. I'm like, hey, listen, the band 3 Doors Down's in town. Do you? And they really want to go up in the MetLife Blimp. Can we make that happen? And they made some calls. I was like, yeah, I think we can do that. So then I called 3 Doors Down's manager because I knew how to get in touch with these people. And I was like, hey, MetLife wants to take you up in the Blimp. You guys want to go? Yeah. And we'll do an interview. So that's how I was able to do that. I would basically play both sides, right?
Wow.
And we ended up doing some massive interviews with some really cool people. Now the problem was I didn't know then what I know now. Yeah. So I didn't know how to make any money with it, right? Yeah. So we got a lot of really cool stories, got a lot of really cool experiences, but it didn't go anywhere, right? Fast forward to 2020. A really good friend of mine who actually I met through that show, right? Because he was the host. He used to be a touring stand-up comedian. Contacts me one day. He's like, hey, listen, you don't know this about me, but I've had, and we stayed in touch. We've been really good friends. He's like, you don't know this about me, but I have had hemorrhoids for the last 15 years, and I discovered a cure, and I want you to help me sell it, right? And so I started doing some research. I was like, holy crap, 80% of people are going to have hemorrhoids at some point in their life. And it's something that's embarrassing. Nobody wants to talk about it, right? And we started that business. That business is going to do $4 million this year, right? So if you look back at 2007, where I had this thing that didn't go anywhere, we got a lot of cool experiences. Did I fail? Or did I make an amazing relationship that now I'm going to sell that business for 9 figures one day? Yeah. You know what I mean? So
everything's interconnected.
That's what I mean. Yeah. And not only that, I learned how to do video production, right? The reason that I was able to partner with Bill, the reason that my company is going to do $40 million this year is because I throw in a camera and I film videos every single day.
I was about to say, talk about that, bro.
Yeah.
I tell people, scream to my mountaintop, value content, become a category king, put yourself out there, and it be going out of people's ear.
It's so weird, and you probably experienced this, when people look at you like a celebrity. Does that happen to you, where people come up to want to take selfies with you?
Yeah, I'm used to it now. But
okay, I'm not. I mean, I'm used to it, but I'm not used to it. I think it's weird, right? Not that it's weird. I mean, I get it, but it's just strange. I'm like, I'm just a normal guy. Like, I can't even believe that these people listen to me half the time. You know what I mean? But it's just like there's something to creating videos every single day. And actually, I was saying earlier, I heard this amazing statistic about podcasts, and it's so easy to succeed at this because you just have to understand most people won't, right? Like that's my model for marketing. Most people won't.
It's so easy to succeed because most people won't.
Let me tell you how easy it is to succeed. I was telling Daryl this earlier, right? Wow. Daryl's the guy behind the camera. I heard a statistic about podcasts, and this is 1,000,000% true. If there are, only 10% of people that say they're going to create content, whether it's a podcast, whether it's video, whether it's a blog, whether it's whatever, right? Only 10% will get to episode 3 of the thing.
Wow.
So you say, I'm going to start a YouTube channel. Only 10% of people will actually create 3 videos, right? Now, of those people that create 3 videos, only 10% of those will get to episode 21. So that means if you have 100 people that say, I'm going to start creating video every single day, only one of them is going to get to episode 21, right? So I live my life in 21s because I know that if I can, whatever I'm trying to do, if I can just do it 21 times, I'm better than 99% of the people out there.
Wow.
And then imagine if I do another 21. Now I'm at 42. Now I don't know what that statistic is, but you have to imagine that only 10% of the people that make it to episode 21 are going to make it to episode 42.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now I'm in the top 1,000. Now I'm better than the top 1,000.
So 10% is to episode number 2. 3.
Yeah.
And 99% is to 21.
Well, yeah. So 99% of people that say they're going to do something will never make it to episode 21.
Got it. Perfect.
Yeah. So if you have 100 people in a room,
I just wanted to make sure I got it.
If there's 100 people say I'm going to create a podcast, 99 of them will never make it to episode 21.
Wow.
So you just got to like the secret to life is just don't quit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's not like you don't even have to be that good. I'm really not that good. I mean I talk about a lot of stuff. I'm not the best on camera. I stumble over my words, all this stuff.
You and me
but
both.
I do 1,600 videos. It's impossible not to see me. You know what I mean? And then here's another great point about Myron's mastermind. You, myself, Josh, we were the ones that were going out there and actually like
doing it, bro.
Yeah.
People be bored. We come back to the next one. Did you do it yet? Yeah. No. What you waiting for?
Yeah, I've done 3 already. You know what I mean? Like, and is it scary? Yeah,
yes.
It's scary. It's very scary. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it's like
you should be scared of staying the same.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So, but you just have to do it. You know what I mean? And like that's the lesson that I've learned in business of since starting my business is that if you just do what other people aren't willing to do, then you can have what other people will never have. Yeah. You know what I mean? And But that 21 number, I keep that in the back of my head whenever I'm thinking of it. Is that like, look, I know that most people won't do this. I heard Alex Hormozy say, like, when it's, when you want to quit, you just have to say to yourself, look, this is what hard feels like, because everybody says it's hard. It's like, yeah, it's hard, and this is what it's like when it's hard.
Yeah, that's good, bro. Bro, this has been fire. I'm happy that you've been able to come on here, man. Let everybody know how they can connect with you. I appreciate you.
Yeah,
If you want to share a final word.
Yeah, so
on today's show.
For today's
Words
show.
are important.
Yeah, for sure. Instagram is just at Andrew Stickel. And my final word is, what is my final word? I think my final word is that, honestly, the only thing that matters is that you're just doing a lot of stuff, right? It's like you never, one of my favorite quotes from Steve Jobs, you can never connect the dots looking forward, you can only connect them looking back, right? If I would have been able, like right now, I can tell you exactly how wanting to be a rock star when I was 21, 22 years old and getting a recording contract, like if you would have told me then that doing that would have me on stage in front of thousands of lawyers running a $40 million marketing agency for lawyers, I'd be like, this makes zero sense, right? So the thing is that it's just activity. You just have to keep doing stuff, keep learning from your past experiences, and don't look at things as failures. Just look at what did I learn, and then move on to the next thing. So that's probably my closing thoughts here.